Hello everyone and welcome to round 4 of the URL-GT1 championship. We are at Valencia and let's jump straight onto the qualifying results. Qualifying was held in grayish conditions. The drivers all went out at the first possible moment to avoid being slower due to rain. This made for some interesting qualifying results. Miguel Santiago Carao took the pole in front of Angelo Guidici. Then it was Mikko Korkiakowski, Tony Ukic and Manlio Liguori. Looking further down the field, we have Vladimir Jelisic as one of the last qualifiers, and he's made a comeback to URL after some time off. Looking at the AM Cup, there will be 3 AM drivers driving today at Valencia. That's Sando Donadel, who took the pole in AM, Anze Rast, and then Fabio Bartolai. So let's go straight to the action and have a look at the highlights of the race. So we're looking at Mikko Korkiakowski starting from P3, but he has a great start as always and he gets away cleanly. Looks for the gap between Miguel and Angelo, but can't make it and creates a big mess here on the start-finish straight. Meanwhile, Angelo gets up the inside, so he takes P1 from Miguel, and Miguel goes onto the gravel. Loses some more positions to Tony Ukic, Sten-Mikael Olsen, and there is some contact. Steen goes off. Bit of contact between Miguel and some other drivers. So a bit of a hectic 2 first corners. Always tricky here at Valencia, but everyone is still running, so that's very nice. Craig Metcalf here, having to defend from Angelo Guidici. Farhan Amatajuddin is right behind them. And here is Florian Kutz was in third position behind Tony Ukic and Manlio Liguori. The whole field flashing by, and Avik Paniksander end the first lap battling with Sten-Mikael Olsen. If he gets a good drive out of the last turn, he will have some good speed with the Viper to get past Avik, and he will do just that. Also Ruan Joubert here is on the inside of Angelo Guidici, and he will take P7 into turn 1. Oh, Angelo has a look on the inside, so Ruan didn't bother to defend. He thought he was safe, and he will have to try that move all over again. Here we see the field and the new feature on the left. The standings at this point of the race. We see that Vladimir Jelisic is out of the race already, so it was a short comeback for him. We see the general standings and where the AM Cup drivers are. So Alex Funnel is defending from Reinhard Berger. He had a blinding start. Started from almost last position due to a penalty from last race. And he's already up to P12, so this will be a driver to watch for. See where he ends up at in the end. Here's Anze Rast battling with Michal Klisch, I think, or is it Olivier Duplessis? Anyway, they're side by side going into this very tricky corner, and Anze keeps it on the track, but Michal or Olivier doesn't. Here we're riding with Manlio Liguori, and we see Tony Ukic spinning out of first position. So Manlio takes first position, Tony gets back up and running, but Miguel Santiago Carao, Peter Bacchus and Florian Kutz, they are right up his tail, and Alex Scott is a lapped car. He's also in the mix, but he gets out of the way now. Peter Bacchus is the last one of this small little group. They don't have a big gap to the rest, but let's stay with this battle and see what happens. Tony Ukic at good pace, so he will want to get past Florian Kutz in the green Aston Martin as soon as possible. He's up the inside now, we see. So and he gets through, so he's in front. Tricky braking zone to follow here, so he will have to get that right. And a bit of touching in front, Miguel and Florian. And that opens up the gap for Peter Bacchus. He gets through, and Miguel also lets Florian back through. He made a small contact which put him into a half spin. So a lot of action here, very tight in the front for the podium spots. Avec Paniksander here is followed by Anze Rast and Ruan Joubert. Anze is still in first position for the AM Cup, so good try from him. He has a big slide here, so his car doesn't look very stable out of the corners. Here again he has to correct, and Ruan will want to get by as soon as possible, and Anze will not want to make any mistakes. He's in first of the AM Cup and he wants to keep that advantage over Sando and Fabio, although Fabio fell back to almost last position after a first lap incident. Oh, and again a slide at the exit of the turn, and Anze collects Ruan. Unfortunately, well, he stays on the track, fortunately, and that puts Sando in P15 and first in the AM Cup. So one small mistake and you lose several positions. Anze has to let another driver go. So P17 now for Anze Rast. Mike Greatrix here, following Sando Donadel, and then Olivier Duplessis, Florian Manolace and Michal Klisch. Oh, we see Sando spinning out, so he will not be in first position of the AM Cup anymore. Olivier Duplessis, he looks at the inside of Mike. They're side by side here. Very tricky and bumpy turns, and Mike touches Florian, and Florian goes off the track, unfortunately. Let's hope he gets back on quickly. A bit of bumping here as well. Michal Klisch, he tries to get past Mike. He keeps it on the inside and has some better acceleration. Michal is on the racing line, but Mike has the inside. Will he dare to brake late enough to go side by side? Nope. Michal goes through and he's behind his teammate right now. Florian Manolace here out of the last, or into the last turn. He passes Mike Greatrix as well for P16. So also further down the field, lots of battles, lots of very close racing. Manuel Liguori, meanwhile, in P1. He's followed by Tony Ukic. We saw him get back into P2 after his mistake into turn 2. And it's his teammate Peter Bacchus, Florian Kutz, Miguel Santiago Carao, and that's Reinhard Berger behind him already. So he's up to P6 already. And well, we have run some laps, but not too many. So Reinhard Berger is looking good for a podium, while his main championship rival, and a big move from Miguel up the inside into this tricky corner. Main rival Mikko Korkiakowski had his problems at the start, and he will not have the result that he hoped for in this race. So Miguel passes Florian for P4. Let's have a look at this from Reinhard's perspective. He will want to try and keep these guys battling and pass them himself. The Aston is quicker on the straight, and Miguel opted for a higher downforce setting because, as you see, it's pretty grey. Forecast set rain, but there's no rain to be seen yet. Florian goes to the inside, and very close, but he gets out in front. Miguel has a slower exit, and Reinhard is right in the mix here. So, as I said before, he will be one to watch for this race. He's still very close to the absolute leader here, Manuel Liguori, at the moment. So nothing is ruled out for him yet. Here's Miguel again, side by side with Florian. Will he try to outbrake him again here? He has to slot in behind at the moment. Around the outside will be very difficult here, I think, yeah. And Reinhard taking it easy, taking some distance, trying not to get involved in any contact these two drivers might have. You can clearly see that Miguel is faster in the turns due to his higher downforce setting, but he's losing out on the straights, and well, that's a tricky combination here on this track. Meanwhile, Angelo Guidici is right behind Reinhard Berger as well, so he had not a very good start, fell back a bit, but now he's back up in P7. Peter Backus, meanwhile, he oh, and Reinhard is now very close. Will he go for the inside? Riding with him, no, he has to slot him behind, and Angelo is right behind him. Peter Backus, meanwhile, getting a bit of a gap for P3 over these guys. And Angelo, 1 or 2 laps later, he's getting very close to this group. And Reinhard Berger has a good exit out of turn 1. Let's ride with him. Oh, he has a great overspeed, so he will go for the inside line and complete the pass. Oh, and Angelo tries to go through as well, but he punts Miguel off, so he will lose a couple of positions, unfortunately. Here is Florin Manolace battling with Olivier Duplessis and Michal Klisch. Olivier moved over from Michal, who went off, and now they both lost 2 positions. Well, 1 position to Florin. So unfortunately for the Lambo guys, it's not going their way at the moment. Again, in the Lambo, Michal Klisch and Mike Greatrix. He had a bit of a luck up in the last turn, and Michal Klisch has a better exit. He goes for the inside, absolutely side by side over the line. And he's in front by the braking zone. Mike tries to get the best line through turn 1 to get his position back. Will he brake late? Yeah, they're side by side here. And Mike has the inside line, so he will retake his position. Very nice driving by both drivers. Let's stay with this a little bit longer and see who gets out on top. A bit of grass there by Mike. Michal looks a bit quicker than him. He goes for the inside here. If he brakes late enough, he'll get up the inside. He will have to wait a little bit for it. Downshift, very aggressive. Oh, and Mike went a bit wide. Very tricky corner, as I said a couple of times. Tricky braking conditions there. And that's Michal going through for P15. So all the way through the pack battles here and there. These are just the highlights of the race. Florian Kutz, meanwhile, is in P4. Following Peter Backus, who gets a bit sideways because they were lapping Sandro Donadel, and Peter Backus is about to lose 2 positions. He even goes wide. Yeah, he goes wide into the last turn, so he hands Florian and Reinhard a position. Reinhard up into P4 at the moment, and will he be able to take Florian's position in one time? Oh, there's no room there, so we'll have to try in the next turn. He has a good exit, good stable car here. He didn't dare to brake late enough to get up the inside of Florian, so he will have to wait. Coming up to the pit stops, this is how things look. So the AM drivers are at the back but still battling for position. Mario Liguori is in first position. Florian Kutz in third, as we said, going through together with Reinhard Berger in P4. Then it's Angelo Guidici, Peter Backus. So he lost another position to Angelo. It was a mistake that he will regret in the end. Then Stay Mikkel Olsen, Greg Metcalf, Miguel Santiago Carao came back out in P9 after the collision with Angelo. Then it's Alex Funnel in P10, Farhan Ahmad Tajuddin in P11, Ruan Joubert in P12, Florin Manolache. He's still very close to Olivier Duplessis, so they have been battling for the whole first stint. Michal Klisch and Mike Greatrix are also still very close. Then it's Alex Scott, he's already lapped, and Mikko Korkiakowski, he's coming into the pits, so indeed it's pit stop time. Sando Donadel here is in P20, and then it's Fabio. Pit stop time, and I can tell you that Reinhard Berger, he jumped Florian Kutz for P2. Greg Metcalf here is coming right in front of Angelo Guidici. Miguel Santiago Carao, he took also some positions, so a bit of a mix-up in the pit stops, and Manlio lost a bit of ground. He was in P1. He's now followed for a virtual second position or third position. He's followed by Florian Kutz, and he will get by here on the straight with some overspeed, so the pit stops didn't go Manlio's way. He's now down to P4. Let's see if he can stay there. Mikko Korkiakowski, he has been driving the whole race with damaged suspension, and still he's giving Michal Klisch a run for his money. He will go to the inside. Car seems to be handling quite okay, of course not perfectly, but he can still challenge for P12, so some points are better than nothing. His main rival here, Reinhard Berger, he's in P2 and he's challenging Tony Ukic, so the gap is very small. Half a second here when they will cross the finish line. So let's see if he can put the pressure on Tony to let him make a mistake. Tony has been very quick today, so it will not be very easy, but Reinhard got up to P2 from almost virtually last position. He had an opportunity there, but he spun the rear tires a little bit, so he will have to stay behind for now. Peter Bacchus is in P5, followed by Miguel Santiago Carao, and he goes aggressively over the curb. Miguel has been cutting the gap to him ever so slightly every lap, and he's now gotten within range. Peter goes onto the gravel, so that will effectively hand Miguel that 5th position and top 5 finish, starting from pole. Of course, the race is not over yet, and Peter will want to reclaim that position, of course, so let's see how this ends as well. As we are in the middle of the second stint, Enze Rast and Sando Donadel, I told you, they are at the back of the pack, but still battling each other. Both drivers made some mistakes, passed and repassed one another, and here it's Enze now coming out on top, going up the inside of Sando. Pagani versus Maserati, and at the moment Enze comes out on top. Alex Scott, he had a race to forget, bad start, and he's now in P14, and he breezes past Florin Manolache, although he has to Florin tried to keep it around the outside, but he couldn't. So here's the field, and Miguel, very last lap, almost the last corner, and he goes off the track. This hands that 5th position back to Peter Bacchus, and he will not be able to reclaim it. Here we are, folks, end of the race, and Tony Ukic managed to barely stay in front of Reinhard Berger. Very good drive by Tony after his mistake in the first stint, handing P1 to Manlio, and of course very good job to Reinhard Berger from P22 I think to P2, so some good points. This will heat up the championship in URL-GT1. Here's Tony taking the checkered flag together with Reinhard Berger. Florian Kutz, he managed to stay in front of Manuel Liguori, but Manuel never let the gap grow. over 1.5 seconds, so the pressure was on. Very nice drive by Mandio. I think it's his best result in URL up till now, so congratulations. Peter Bacchus, as we saw, P5. He repassed Miguel in the last lap, so just now. Sten Mikkel Olsen had an anonymous race together with Greg Metcalf, but they take some good points for their respective teams, and it's Alex Funnel, Ron Joubert, Mikko Korkiakowski in P11, Michal Klisch in P12. He goes off the track. I don't know if he finished already, I guess so. Alex Scott, then Florin Manolace going also for the checkered flag. Mike Greatrix, Farhan Ahmad Tajuddin. Then it's Sandro Donadel, so he took the win in the AM Cup. Then it's Anze Rast and Fabio Bartolai, Angelo Giudici. Here are the results. So Tony Ukic took the win, 0.7 of a second in front of Reinhard Berger. Vladimir Jelicic, Avik Paniksander, and unfortunately also Angelo Giudici are the 3 drivers that didn't make it to the end. Meanwhile, also Reinhard Berger's fastest lap, and very close race for almost everyone on the grid. So very good race here at Valencia. Congratulations to all the racers, and we hope to see you all next week at Mugello for round 4 of the URL-GT3 Championship, which has also been very tight last race in Bahrain. So stay tuned and check us out at unitedracersleague.com.